This is Dr. Vaishali and I'm reading from the book Substance of Homeopathy, book written by Dr. Rajan Sankaran, chapter number 22, the nosode as the center point of the miasm. The nosode of miasm, for example, sorinum, it is for sora, and medorinum, it's for psychosis, and syphilinum for syphilis, represent the central point of the miasm. Let us try to understand this a bit further. The nosode is the disease product which is made from the tissue that is fully under the influence of the infection. This tissue is so completely overcome by the infection that it no longer has in it the individuality of the person, but has only the sign of process of the infection. In the case of scabies, the tissue will have in its quality the struggle of the scabitic infection. In gonorrhea, the nosode will have the quality of fixed infection of gonorrhea, whereas the defeated tissue of syphilis will have the character of total despair and distress. The nosode represents what one might call the defeated tissue completely under the spell of infection and therefore manifesting the very basic quality of that infection or infectious process. Thus, when we study the symptom of the nosodes, we are able to understand the central point of the miasm. For example, a study of sorinum shows the very character of the sora. Example, intense struggle with a problem from the environment. This problem is not specific in the case of sorinum. It can be religious problem, a problem about money, a problem about his acceptability, and problem about his love. It has an undifferentiated character. Now from this undifferentiated sense of struggle, we can then branch out into the more specific remedies. For example, if the struggle is for ego and honor, then the situation would be of a sulfur. If this is causing physical insecurity, then it would be the calcea or nux vomica. But when this struggle is on all front, the struggle is undifferentiated, then the remedy that will be needed is sorinum. That is why it is often said that the indication of the nosode is when several remedies seems to be indicated or when several remedies fail through seemingly indicated. In the example, the feeling of lack of capacity and the need to struggle was an undifferentiated feeling, and at various times it manifested itself in different form. For example, sometimes it manifested as an ego problem, sometimes as a poverty problem, sometimes as a security problem, each time leading to different prescription. But the basic problem was undifferentiated feeling of lack of capacity and need to struggle. And this is the central point of the soric miasm and would be needed sorinum as the remedy. The same apply for the medorinum and syphilinum. This idea also fit perfectly well in the miasm, in between the miasm. The miasm, since when we study the carcinosinum, we understand the central point of cancer miasm, or in a tuberculinum, we understand the undifferentiated feeling of the tubercular miasm. It can therefore be easier to see which nosode is the closest to a particular patient, and after fixing the nosodes, one can then look around to see which remedy comes closer. This would then help us to limit the area of our search and make it more specific. For example, if a patient comes with a strong destructive and homicidal tendency and there is a tremendous sense of desperation in him, one might think that the closest nosode to him would be a syphilinum. Hence, here one would ask whether it is just undifferentiated hopelessness or it is the hopelessness which is marked for the specific area. For example, an area of highly responsibility, in which case we would go to the aurum metallicum. I have found this approach very useful in many cases.